in my first year of teaching, I got jaded very fast. Within 6 months, I was already very unmotivated going to work. I started looking forward to the weekends and to the holidays because I realized I was actually going round and round in circles doing the things that I really didn't like. In the classroom, I was constantly going to every student to try to nudge them to be engaged, to try to persuade them to be on task. And I really didn't like that feeling. And when I could not manage the students, I started calling their parents. Very soon, I realized I was calling parents almost every afternoon, either because of misbehavior or because of poor attendance. I started asking myself, am I going to do that for the rest of my life? What will keep me going? What will motivate me? Suddenly, the question struck me because I could not answer that question. And that also means that I didn't have a clear purpose. I didn't have a goal. I didn't have a dream to work towards to. That is probably why I got jaded so easily. So I told myself that I needed to be very clear about my purpose. I decided to start this reflective practice. Every night, I wrote down everything that makes me happy. Because I thought that if I continue to write, I'll be a lot clearer about what my purpose is. So I started writing things like, I'm happy when I saw students engage. I'm happy when the students were enjoying their learning, or I'm happy when my CCA had good attendance. But after many days of writing, I was still not clear about that purpose. Because every day there seems to be different things that makes me happy. Then there was this time, I was very upset with a group of CCA students because they kept giving me reasons for not attending CCAs. And I'm so tired of calling the parents. I told myself that I really must change their mindset about attendance. I must do something. So I decided that in one of the CCA practice, I will spend some time to talk to all students about the importance of attendance. I remember I spent many days thinking about what to say to them. I also wrote a super long script in my phone. Then during the CCA session, I gave them a super long pep talk. I remember it was about 2 hours. I told them stories after stories, personal stories, stories of inspiring people, and gave them many reasons about why attendance is so important. I kept emphasizing the point that it is really not about getting good CCA points, but because I really believe that they can do really well in the sport. I also say that I would do my best to help them win something, but I could not do it if their attendance was poor. Suddenly I realized everyone seated down there was actually looking at me. Their eyes were wide open, they were sitting up straight, like they were very interested to listen to what I said. That was the first time I actually saw students listening, engaged. And that felt really good. That was probably the best feeling I had ever since I became a teacher. When I went home, I wrote down this experience. And I told myself that I want to achieve that feeling again and again. After that, in every lesson, in all my computer, PE lesson, form class, I started giving small pep talks to try to motivate students to believe in themselves. And as I continued to do that, I got better. And I realized that I was actually doing less in the classroom, but I had more impact. The students were more motivated, more engaged. I realized I don't need to go around to try to nudge students to be engaged anymore. And I felt really good. So every day I went home and wrote down all these experiences. As I continued to write, it became very clear to me what my purpose was. I realized that my purpose is to become a teacher that can motivate all my students to believe in themselves. And when I was very clear about this purpose, I also became very motivated. I started waking up very early, feeling excited going to school. I stopped looking forward to the weekend, to the holidays. And even after 20 years in the service, I'm still very motivated because of this purpose. I think if I have never started that reflective practice to find out what really makes me happy, I don't think I'll be clear about my purpose. And maybe I would have quit teaching long ago.